Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Lattafa's Asad Zanzibar. Now, even though the name would imply it, it's not very similar to Lattafa Asad at all. Lattafa Asad is a Dior Sauvage elixir clone, whereas Asad Zanzibar is one of Lattafa's original creations, even though it is kind of inspired by some fragrances that I will be getting into later. The bottle of Lattafa Asad Zanzibar is just like Lattafa Asad, but it is blue and silver as opposed to black and gold. The top is the same, the atomizer is the same, everything is the same. This piece comes on and off just like Lattafa Asad. The only thing that is different is the colors, and it says Zanzibar right there. Now, this fragrance is a 100 ml and it is an eau de parfum, and I got mine for about 40 bucks, but you can get it for a lot cheaper now. I got mine when it first came out, so I definitely had to pay a little bit extra, but it made me really excited to get a fragrance early, whereas everyone else wasn't really getting it until later. So I paid a little bit extra to kind of feel special in a way, which sounds horrible saying it out loud, but yes, that is what I did. Now, I got this fragrance a couple months ago, and I got it because it was cheap. I was getting into fragrances, and I really wanted a coconut-based fragrance, but I couldn't really afford a Le Beau at the time, and this was just coming out. So I figured, hey, let's get this. I can be one of the first people to get it. It seems like it is liked by a lot of people, so let's just get it. What's the worst that could go wrong? And this fragrance honestly surprised me. It was not what I thought it would smell like, and it definitely has changed over time too. I do like it for sure. It's a great fragrance, especially for the price, but I'll be getting into that a little bit later. But now let me just spray it and let you guys know what I smell. I already have the dry down on my hand, so I'm gonna spray the opening on my arm right now. The atomizer is really nice actually. Definitely a high quality atomizer. Thank you Lattafa for that. In the opening, you have some freshness for sure, some kind of barbershop-ish kind of smell with some coconut and a little bit of vanilla. Kind of like a lavender coconut, a little bit of bergamot and vanilla, but it's not the same type of coconut as you would think. It's more of like a milky coconut than like a creamy coconut, if that makes sense. Maybe like coconut water almost. It's definitely tropical, super tropical. Very tropical smelling. You will not mistake in this fragrance for something else. It is not close to Lattafa Asad, the original, at all. But it smells really good actually. I really like it. And then on the dry down, yeah, that vanilla comes out more. It's pretty much just coconut vanilla. And that's pretty much it. But still, it's like a watery, milky coconut instead of like a creamy coconut. It's not very thick. But yeah, definitely vanilla. I really like this fragrance. It's super nice. Now let's check out what the listed notes are on Fragrantica. Alright, I have the notes pulled up for Lattafa Asad Zanzibar on Fragrantica. And in the top, it has lavender and black pepper, which I said I kind of smelled that barbershop-y lavender vibe in the opening, but I don't get any black pepper at all. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Maybe my bottle is different, but I do not get any black pepper at all. In the middle notes, it has coconut water, which I definitely smell. Like I told y'all, it's very coconutty and it's not in a creamy way, it's kind of in a watery way. And then iris, yes, I smell a lot of iris actually. I can't believe I kind of glazed over that earlier. It has a ton of iris. It's very, not creamy. It is a creamy iris, but it's interesting how it's a creamy iris but not a creamy coconut. It's like a soft, thin coconut, but a thick, creamy iris, if that makes any sense, because that iris kind of goes with that vanilla. It smells really good. And then some salt. I can get a little bit of salt for sure, yeah. And then vanilla and incense. I don't get a ton of incense, but definitely a little bit. Nothing super duper strong though. Like you won't smell it and be like, oh, this is a total incense spicy fragrance. You definitely don't think that. And then vanilla, which I smell all throughout the fragrance from the opening to the dry down for sure, without a doubt. So I think these notes are actually pretty accurate, with the exception of the black pepper. I don't smell any at all. It's not peppery at all, but yeah, definitely a light, aromatic, fresh opening with that lavender and the coconut, and definitely a coconut iris heavy mid notes with vanilla all the way through for sure. I cannot disagree with that. Now, the longevity for Lattafa Asad Zanzibar is actually pretty decent. It's around 6 to 8 hours, so average when it comes to the grand scheme of things, but definitely really good for a summer fragrance, because typically fragrances last longer when you wear them in the summer because the temperature is warmer, and that helps it last longer. But it smells super nice, very tropical. I think you could wear this any time of the day, any time of the year. It's super amazing. It's not very formal though. It's definitely more fruity and casual. So it might not fit every formal occasion, but you could still definitely pull it off because it has that iris, but it's not really a powdery iris that you would think like in a Dior Homme Intense. It's more of a creamy, sweet iris. I really like this fragrance. I haven't really worn it out much at all, which I kind of regret. I wore it when I went to the beach a little while back, and this was one of the couple fragrances that I brought. And every time I put it on though, there was somebody we were staying in the house. We were staying in the house with a couple families, and he always recognized when I had freshly sprayed this. So it's a very recognizable fragrance. He didn't really know that much about fragrances, but he was like, oh, that is Lattafa Asad Zanzibar every time I sprayed it on. He knew. And I didn't even spray on that much. It has a pretty strong opening when you first spray it for the first like 30 minutes. You're gonna smell it, people are gonna smell it, but then in the dry down it gets a little bit more subdued, but it definitely has good projection still. It's not gonna be a skin scent until those later 6, 7, 8 hour marks for sure. Another thing I would like to say is my girlfriend does like this fragrance, but it's not her favorite. So take that with a grain of salt. But I don't know if that speaks for all females because my mom doesn't necessarily like it either. So I know there are some fragrances where the female nose is different than the male nose and it smells it differently. So this might be one of those fragrances where females don't absolutely love. But I really love this fragrance. I love the smell. I love the coconut. I love coconut fragrances, so it's not that big of a deal for me. I'm still gonna wear it sometimes. That's not a deal breaker. So do I recommend Lattafa's Asad Zanzibar? Honestly, if you can get it for like 25, 30 bucks, I think this is a great fragrance, especially if you want a coconut fragrance. Like I said earlier, this is very similar to some fragrances like the Le Beau's, and I definitely think that this is a great Le Beau Le Parfum on a budget. It is definitely not a clone, don't think it is. It's just kind of the same DNA with that coconut and the vanilla. I really like this fragrance. It's almost even with Le Beau Le Parfum, it's just in a different way. It's like they're cousins. They're related, but not super closely related. It's super nice. This fragrance definitely grew on me. It started a little bit weaker and a little bit sour smelling almost, but after it has macerated over time, it has definitely gotten better. I'm a big fan of it. And I would recommend it to anyone who likes coconut fragrances. But if you don't like coconut fragrances, I think you probably should have already clicked off this video by now, because this is a mainly coconut fragrance, mainly a tropical fragrance. But I think this is one of the best tropical fragrances you can get on a budget. I don't know any better tropical fragrances that you can get for this price. Please comment down below if you do know a better tropical fragrance that you can get for this price. But I think including all the factors, smell, price, and longevity, this fragrance lands at about an 8 out of 10. I like it, maybe closer to a 7.5 if it wasn't for the price, but because it is so cheap, it definitely lands at an 8 for me. Comment down below if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.